more than safe distancing apart, so please feel free to give your breath a sound. And we talked a little bit about the purpose of the breath in yesterday's class, and so I'll kind of reiterate that in yoga philosophy, one of the first tenets is, in Sanskrit, goes yoga chitta vritti narogaha, and that is one of the main tools of yoga is learning how to cease the fluctuations of the mind. You know how the mind just is all over the place. And with that, in this practice, we learn how to control the mind through the breath practice rather than allowing the mind to control us. And we do that by simply shifting our focus and our awareness to our breath. So while you're seated, you're actually practicing breathing by drawing your awareness and your complete focus on the process of breathing. So when you breathe in, you see and experience the breath coming in. And when you breathe out, giving it a little bit of a tone or a noise allows the mind something to actually focus on. So if you hear like quiet, the mind can be like, gotcha. Something louder for you to focus on. And if you breathe and you're like, that's why I encourage a little sound to your breath. And let the shoulders drop away from the ears, let there be ease in your posture. And just notice if you're holding or storing tension anywhere. For me, it's my jaw. I tend to clench. And so the first step of being able to make change is awareness. So just kind of scanning your body and noticing, oh, wow, my hips are a little kind of clenched. Maybe my belly's a little clenched. Maybe my jaw, my ears, my neck. And now we draw our awareness one level deeper to the sounds around us. We are in such a beautiful place. You can actually hear the rustle of the leaves above the trees if you get quiet enough. And then begin to relax your facial muscles. So notice if you're storing any tension in your cheekbones or your forehead. You may even want to kind of encourage a little facial massage to allow those muscles in the cheeks and the forehead to release. If that's calling out to you. And then either with your eyes open or your eyes closed and the palms on your knees, you're going to begin to kind of churn. No right or wrong way to move. Begin to turn your body. Starting to find some edges in your rib cage and the edges of your shoulders. Maybe your head and neck also begins to turn and move with you. Couple thighs are good too. Letting whatever stored tension you have somatically, stored up in the surface of your muscles, the surface of your skin, letting it go through a little bit of audible sound. Always kind of and then begin to turn the opposite direction. And just kind of no right or wrong, easy does it. Let the head go heavy for a breath or turn or two. Let the shoulders kind of circle too with you, up and around and down, up and around and down. So you're beginning to churn into yourself. And then find stillness in the center, and we go forward and back, and a little curve, and forward a little arch, and back and a little curve. If it's not comfortable for you sitting like this, feel free to kind of find a comfortable sitting position. No right or wrong thing. Nobody judges any movement. Nobody is even looking at you. And come to stillness. And then cross your hands together. And then turn the palms out. In the neck and shoulders. And then bring the arms at an angle. So not all the way overhead, so there's an arch, but kind of at an angle. And then plug your shoulders right back into the sockets. If it feels better to bend your elbows, feel free to do that. No right or wrong way to go. And now go up. And take those front floating ribs and pull them in and back, so kind of hollow out your navel. And then be really heavy in your sitting bones and your pelvic floor. And then lift up to the back ribs. So not arching, but just kind of through the back of the rib cage. No right or wrong. And then begin to twist to the right. Twist, 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 twist. And then open the arms wide out to the side like a T. And then reach stronger out the back arm. Keep them up at a T. So you keep twisting and finding space in the rib cage. And then release the right arm down and stretch the left arm up. Reach out that side body to the left armpit. If you want to lean back a little bit and find a little movement, kind of circle through is good. No right and no wrong way to go. And then sit straight up. Let's find that plumb line. And then let's find the twist. So draw the left arm across the right knee. And then take an inhale, deep inhale here and do nothing. And then exhale, and as you're empty with all your breath, see if you can squeeze a little bit. Let's do that whole process one more time. Inhale and pause at the top. And then exhale completely. And when you're empty, see if you can squeeze a little bit more. Oh, so good. And then come back to center. Reclasp the hands the opposite awkward way. So the pinky finger, that's probably going to be the hardest part of the class. Which side goes the pinky finger? And then go up. And then start in an angle first, so you can kind of root your shoulder heads back into the sockets. And then readjust that by getting rid of the back bend by pulling the front floating ribs in and the navel in towards the center. You'll kind of arch a little bit and C-curve a little bit, and then reach the arms up. Up. Modify everything and anything. Now you twist to the left. And then open the arms wide out to the side like a T. And then release the left arm down and the right arm up. And once again, you can kind of find that circular wave movement if that feels good to you. No right or wrong way to go. And then come back to center and then sweep the right arm across the left knee. And we take into a twist. Inhale here. Pausing at the top. And then emptying the lungs. And on the empty, squeeze a little deeper. One more time like that. Inhale. Pause at the top. Empty the lungs. And then squeeze a little deeper. Oh, it's so good. And then let that go and come on to hands and knees. If you need to pad your knees, feel free to either roll up your mat or grab one of those nice cushy padded mats. They're really sweet. And then just take a moment to kind of ground down through your palms. So externally rotate a little bit. So you're going to turn your wrists out slightly. So like maybe your index finger, pointed finger is towards the front, not the third finger, but the pointy finger, other way. So externally rotate. Yeah, that's it. And then take a moment to kind of ground down through your palms. So get really connected to the earth. And then close your eyes and wag your tail from side to side. Kind of wag that tail, the hips side to side. Maybe the head and neck turns in the opposite direction. No right or wrong way to go. Connecting deeper with our breath. Connecting deeper with the sounds around us. If we get lucky, we'll maybe get a visitor from the woodpecker. That's my favorite part of the class. and then circular, and then begin to kind of circle. And yeah, you can definitely come onto your wrists if that hurts your palms. Right? So feel free. Obviously, I'm giving you permission to modify everything and anything in this class. Right? It's all about feeling good and coming back home to your body, to your center. Feel free to close your eyes. There's nothing you need to see. Inside job. And then come back to center and pause for just a moment. Okay, let everything kind of settle. And then circle in the opposite direction. Turn, turn. Oh. One more rotation. And then come back to center and we'll cat and cow. So you can inhale, arch up, look up. Keep your elbows soft. Exhale, curl. Please touch your navel. Keep the elbows soft. Don't lock out the elbows. Don't hyperextend. Keep everything kind of soft so you can really reach into the upper regions of your neck, shoulders. Well, left tailbone. And then come back to stillness. And then bring your knees together. And then drop your hips down towards your heels. And find child pose with your knees together. So you may be up in the air. Your forehead may not come all the way down, and that's fine. But just kind of squeeze that diaphragm and the internal organs. And if you want to stack your palms on top of each other and rest your forehead on top of your palms, if that brings you closer. If you have a block or a prop of some sort, you want to place that underneath your forehead, feel free to use that. A couple breaths, breathing into your side body. So when we get smushed like this in forward folds, it forces us to breathe out of our back ribs. The more you're able to breathe out of the back ribs and the side ribs, like your gills, like you're a fish, the more space you get between the vertebrae of the rib cage. And then if you're comfortable, you're gonna bring your arms out to the side like a T. Same position, forehead on the mat. So this time your hips can come up a little bit if they're not down towards your heels. And you're gonna spread your arms nice and wide like a T. And you're gonna let your shoulder heads drop and be heavy. So this will round the upper back. Shoulders and elbows heavy. And then press the whole palm of your hand down towards the floor like you're suctioning your palms, pressing down. Beautiful. Breathe into your rib cage. And walk your fingers back towards the front of your mat so your arms are forward, straight in front of you. And then press your hips back a little bit and then shake, move your hips, slide your hips from side to side. And then lift your torso to come up and lay right on your belly. Right on that belly. And then shake your hips from side to side, and sway them side to side. And then spread your arms wide out to the side like a T, but with your elbows bent, so kind of cactus arms. and then come onto your fingertips. Yeah. Inhale up, get the right shoulder down, and then exhale. Inhale back to cobra. Exhale, get the left shoulder. Keep rotating side to side with the breath. Inhale, draws you up. Exhale, lowers you down. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. If it feels better to do it with a flat palm, do it with a flat palm. Right? Anything goes. Flat palm, cupped hands, doesn't matter. Either way. You'll be letting the shoulder girdle, getting that shoulder to dip and move, isolating the movement more so in the shoulders than in the rib cage and the torso. More about a shoulder mobility movement. Beautiful. One more set. So nice. Come back to center. Bring your arms out in front of you. Rest your forehead on the mat. Press the tops of your feet down into the floor. Just the tops of the feet. Press the palms of the hands into the floor. Tops of the feet. Squish your pelvic floor down into the floor. Beautiful. Release that. You're going to clasp, soft clasp your hands behind your back and rest the tops of your hands on your sacrum. So the palms face towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Forehead on the ground. Chin will cramp your neck. Forehead on the mat, on the ground. Inhale, bring the elbows towards each other and squeeze. Exhale, lower the elbows down towards the floor, rounding the spine. Inhale, elbows together. Exhale, lower the elbows down towards the floor. See if you can let the elbows drop and be heavy. If you need to unclasp the hands to do that, try that. So unclasp the hands for a moment and just place the backs of the palms on your tailbone or on your sacrum, and then let the elbows drop down towards the floor. Yeah. And now draw the elbows towards each other. And make a fist with your wrists, with your fingers, and dig the tops of the knuckles down into the sacrum. Push down. Give yourself a little massage. Beautiful. And then let that go. Let your palms and your arms rest by your side and rest on one cheek. Turn your head to one side. Oh. Now you're gonna lift your arms off the floor so that you lift your torso and your arms and have your palms face each other. Keep your feet engaged. So press the tops of the feet on the mat, right? And draw your navel in. So it's not so much about height as it is about length. Reach the fingers vigorously towards the toes. Press the tops of the toes down. Feel the whole leg engage, both legs engage. Exhale, rest on the opposite cheek. Oh, yeah. That feels so good. A stagnant energy moving in a gentle, supportive way. And again, you're going to reach the arms and the torso is going to come up. So engage your legs. It helps to protect the lower back. Press the tops of the feet down as if you had this kind of rivers running down the inseams of your thighs. Lift your torso, come up, but don't go height, go for length. So the crown of the head is going to kind of be reaching towards the center of the circle. Beautiful. Now lift the legs, spread the toes. Oh yeah. Deep breath. Let everything go. Rest on the opposite cheek. Wiggle the hips from side to side. Fly your arms underneath you, coming into Sphinx pose. Align your elbows underneath your shoulders. If this bothers you, you can clasp your hands together. That's a couple options for you. If this is too high for you, you can come down. So there's something for everybody. Draw your navel in. Press the tops of your thighs down. Lift your, yeah, you guys know where we're going. This is L4, L5 yoga therapy, lower back 101. Let it go. Couple times like that. Lift the booty. Press the thighs down. C-curve the spine. C-curve, C-curve. Let it go. Beautiful. One more time. I would totally lion's breath if it wasn't being recorded.
Why can't you do lion's breath?
Not for perpetuity. No, I was hard to believe I was cranky just an hour ago.
Maybe you needed this.
I didn't sleep. I was cranky. Sleep is a form of torture. Sleep deprivation.
Oh, it's awful.
Oh my
terrible.
God. Yeah, come down if this feels better. Right? It's all about what's feeling right in your body. That's the way to go. Those are the choices to make. Not what your neighbor's doing, not what I'm doing. But like, oh, I think I'm gonna do this if that feels better. Yeah. Beautiful. And I release that side. And switch sides. Remember that the transitions between the poses are pose themselves, right? So a lot of times injuries happen when we're moving a little too quickly from one side to the next. So we work mindfully. And then let that go. And then take your palms underneath your shoulders. And then just kind of lift your torso to come up and find wide knee child's pose. Just let the knees be wide and sink your hips back towards your heels. And any variation of this pose that makes you happy. Yep. And when you're ready, slowly come back to hands and knees. And bring your knees in just a tad. And they're not as wide as the outer edges of your mat, but they're not close together. And then bring your left palm to the center of your mat. You might find that your knees wider feels better on your body. You start here. For me, I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to go wider today. And then reach the right arm up. Oh, stiffness. Let's circle the right wrist one way. Like this one direction. Circle the other direction. Let's make a fist. And then, and a fist. And then, one more fist. And let all that juju go. Take a deep inhale here. On your exhale, we slide down to the top of the shoulder. And you can leave the left elbow bent. There's a couple options for you. You can walk the left arm straight out in front of you, or you can weave the left arm behind the back and tuck it into the right hip. Oh. We come back to center, and we switch sides. Right palm comes to the center. Left arm, open up, both open to the chest, and let's circle the left wrist and fingers one way. And let's circle it the other way. And then make a fist, and then make a fist, and then last time, make a fist. Inhale, big breath. Exhale, slide down. Oh. Okay. And then come back to center. And now, careful on this next transition. And down to the belly. I'm going to slide the rest. So this is just a deeper variation of what we just did. Right arm's going to come across. So you're going to rest on the top of the right shoulder. If this hurts, too much pressure jamming on the joint, you don't do it. Both hip bones are on the mat. Right, so your level, if you can, chin maybe over the shoulder. If you have a block and your head is sticking up in the air, like mine is, because I carry all my tension in my shoulders and my neck, you place it on your forehead. And you breathe here. Maybe rock your hips from side to side to encourage your glutes and your legs to release. No work here in the lower body. No work at all, actually. It's about letting go, softening, surrendering, letting go. With your right fingers, your right palm, make a fist a couple times, and then release. Make a fist, and maybe with the fist, circle the wrist around one way, and circle it the other way, and then release. Slide your left palm back underneath your left shoulder. Lift yourself up, each side. And then when you arrive, you rock your hips from side to side. You try to let your lower body release and surrender. Oh. then you make a fist with that left palm and release. And a fist and release. Make a fist and then circle that fist one way. And then circle it the other way. And then release. And slide the right palm back underneath the right shoulder. Lift yourself up. And then just like that. Arms beside you. Let someone keep. And then place your palms underneath your shoulders. Lift your torso, come up, come back, child's pose. And then sit up. Grab your little friend, your little yellow friend. Stand up. Stand up. I know, I'm sorry. We'll get back down really quickly. I promise. Okay, so you guys grab a tennis ball. I haven't forgotten about you. Only sort of. Take the tennis ball.
She said no sleep.
Start with the toes. Keep the heel on the floor. This is called pressure point. So you kind of lean back like you're driving into that pedal, right? And then flex the toes and pull them up like, oh, my pinky toes screaming at me. Don't know why. So weird. Anybody else feeling that? No. See, yeah, it's whatever's going on in your body. We talk to you. Now let that go and curl around. Curl the toes around that ball. Ooh, that pinky toe. Now we move the ball to the inner. Ooh,
That hurts.
Yeah, that hurts.
That hurts.
Like right in the arch of the foot. Right? So you're in control of the amount of pressure. Right? So yeah, right? Ooh, it's all that wine. It's the kidney spot. The kidneys, the liver. I'm speaking for myself. I'm not projecting. And then kind of roll it around. So inner arch, outer edge of the foot, right? And then the heel. Like just kind of drive that heel into it a couple times. That doesn't hurt so much. I wonder what part of the body in reflexology the heel correlates to. That one's solid. Maybe.
That's a good
I'm
one.
taking it.
That's good. Yeah.
And then like wherever like you notice that spot needed more love, go back to that spot. And you know when I say love, I mean like tough love. And then let that go. Hoop, hoop, hoop. Hoop, hoop, hoop. Start with the heel on the ground and right in the balls of the toes. And then you're going to kind of push like that pedal and lift the flex the toes, bring them up. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And then curl. And then take it to the arch. So for me, like a big part of the yoga practice, right, It's learning not how to get sucked into what's going on around you. What a great laboratory we have here. So inner arch, and then the heel. And then go to that spot where life is talking to you. That spot, like for me, it's like right underneath that ankle. And then come down. More fun with ball. More fun with ball. Take the ball and place it right in the nape of your neck. Right in that little crook. And then gently turn your head from side to side, really gently. And yes, if it feels better to bend your knees and place the soles of your feet on the floor, do that. So gently nod your head from side to side with the ball and the crook. And now pick a side. So we go down one side of the spine at a time. We start right here, just right to the right edge of the crook. Right? And now you can determine the amount of pressure. If you have your knees bent and the soles of your feet on the mat, you can lift your hips up. You could direct more of your body weight onto the ball. Right? So you get to be the driver here. And then kind of make a little nod your head inside, make little circles. Let that ball really get into the muscles. And then when you've had enough, you're gonna go to the right where the shoulder is, where the shoulder meets the, like, you know, right here, right on top of that shoulder blade, right there. Ooh, that's a good spot. That's the next spot. And so for me, I like more pressure, so I kind of lift my hips up and direct more of my body weight actually onto the ball, and I kind of rock up and down and side to side a little bit, because that's the magic spot for me. You know, you do team of two. You can clasp your hands together behind your head, all kinds of ways to move. Nice variation team up. That's a good one, right? When you've had enough, you work your way down one side of the spine, not on the spine itself, but to the side of the spine, just on the edge of the vertebra. So not on the vertebra, but onto the edge, the side of the vertebra. One side of the body, the spine at a time. So stick with the right side, moving just to the right side of each vertebra, one vertebra at a time. Go slow. So you determine how much time you spend on each spot. If you find a good spot, feel free to stay there for a bit. Take several deep belly breaths into the spot. And it's not uncommon for an emotion to come out, to be associated with a certain spot, because we store all of our emotional experiences somatically in our body, in our tissues, in our musculature. Right? So sometimes when you get a good release, some kind of unexplained emotion will surface, and that's a good thing. Breathe it out, let it go. Notice your jaw. Notice if you're clenching. If you get to a certain spot and there's a lot of tension or a knot in that spot, notice if you tend to clench or kind of have your shoulders kind of bunch up. Kind of observe your tendencies. And when you're done with one side of the spine, you rest, you stop at the tailbone. Now, this is not the most pleasant spot, but the most important spot because it's important to allow that tailbone a little bit of movement. That tailbone's kind of fused together, but it's important to get in there and get a little mobility in that tailbone so that when you walk, like it's your whole hip and gait is walking, when you're walking, it's a fluid motion. And then when you've had enough, because it doesn't take long in that spot, start on the other side, right directly to the side of the nape of the neck. Don't be in a hurry. When you've arrived, when you're done with that side, you take the ball right into the middle of your cheek, left butt cheek, right at the piriformis. And then, so you're gonna watch me for a minute. You're gonna bend, so left ball, left butt cheek, left piriformis, right? Move it around. No right or wrong way to move. Just move that puppy around. When you've had enough of that movement, you're gonna take, so the piriformis muscle runs from the whole side band of your derriere, of your glutes, right? So you're gonna move that ball side to side along the whole edge side of your glutes. Right? So however you can get there, do that. Play with that. Maybe if you got some sciatica stuff going on, right? You can sit up and take the ball and kind of move from side to side like this. And then when you're done with that happiness exercise. Switch to the other cheek. And then don't forget on this side also to do that whole variation. And then when you're done with this business, lie flat on your mat. Couple cleansing breaths. Inhale. Side down on your exhale. Make some noise. Let me hear you're alive. I can always count on you, my love. Make some noise. Let me know you're alive. Beautiful. One more time like that. Make a little noise. Beautiful. Take your palms, rub them together, create a little frictional heat. And then place the palms on, you can lie down, I'm just sitting up just for the benefit of everybody. And then when you've got enough heat and friction, place the palms on your eyelids. Let's do that again. Create a little friction, get a little movement going. And then place it on your eyelids. One more time. A little frictional heat. Place it on your eyelids. Let your eyeballs be soft, let them melt. And take your fingers and run them through your hair. And a massage and stretch. Massage, stretch. Massage, circular, up and down, forward and back. Take your time. Get the back of your scalp and neck. Get the sides of your head. Take your time. Get a little stimulation, circulation going in your brain. Surface of your scalp. Reset, draw your knees into your chest. Take a couple breaths with your knees into your chest. Rock from side to side if you like that. Find stillness if you like that. Little happy baby. Makes you happy. Rock from side to side if you like that. Little variation in happy baby if you like. You can spread your legs wide out to the side and place your palms on your inner thighs, your calves, your feet. Either one works. Good, how are you? Start them young. And then if you did that variation in happy baby, one leg out, the other heel in. So like a little out and in, out and in, playing with like a little out, a little in, a little out and in. And then both soles of the feet together. And then let your feet come down towards the floor with the feet together. Left hand on your heart, right hand below your navel. Take a moment to feel your life force. If that doesn't feel good on your knees, feel free to straighten your legs. Take a moment to fill yourself up with gratitude. Go through all the blessings in your life. What are you truly most grateful for? Starting with health, community, love, family, all the blessings. And with your blessings, find sleep Shavasana. Shavasana. Back to the making circular movements with your fingers, your wrists, your toes, your ankles. Bring your life back to the surface. Easy does it. As you gradually come back with your eyes closed, just become acutely aware of the sounds around you and notice that each sound has its own vibration. Each vibration puts your body in a slightly different place. Body moves into your chest. Take a moment in the shape, don't be in a hurry. Roll onto your right hand side in a fetal position and take a moment to observe how grounding this feels. Feel your connection to the earth, to the ground. And gently press yourself up to a comfortable sitting position with your eyes closed. Don't be in a hurry. Sit nice and tall. Notice. moment to be grateful for the blessings in our lives, to acknowledge the fact that we showed up for ourselves and for others, to be grateful for the sense and sort of community that we share together in the circle. And bring your palms to your third eye. You take a moment to be grateful for these moments of compassion and humility. And then bring your thumbs to your mouth. And we acknowledge that our words are very powerful. They can harm and they can heal, and food has the same effect. And then we bring our hands to our hearts. And we take a moment to be grateful for the love that we have in our lives, the opportunity to feel love, to be close to source, to love others. May there be peace in our hearts. May there be peace in our homes. May there be peace in the world. Namaste. Thank you for coming.
Bye, beautiful people.